Now, you might remember that we were trying to recreate the world's greatest car advert. It's when this Indian bloke tries to turn an ambassador into a Peugeot 206 he's fallen in love with. Thing is, in that advert, the 206 was just a production car that was hit lightly with a hammer. So when Peugeot bought the Ambassador brand recently, we thought, yeah, we can go one better than that and actually turn an Ambassador into a modern 208 GTI. And do you know what? We've only gone and bloody done it. I say we, I've actually done 0.01% of the work. The rest of it was down to the geniuses here at D.Y. Patil University in Pune, Mumbai. And this, probably should have been a drum roll there. Oh, this is it. This is the fruits of their labours. Isn't it incredible? All right, I'll admit, the stance is a little bit higher than the 208. Some of the panel gaps probably aren't up to Peugeot's exacting standards, but come on, look at this thing. It used to be an Ambassador, a 50-year-old design that's been turned into a modern hot hatch. I've got to show you around this thing. Some proper engineering, some proper craftsmanship has gone into this thing. There's some serious challenges to overcome, not least the fact that the Ambassador is actually a 3-box design. So the first thing they had to do was lop the rear end off. When you do that with a monocoque chassis, you kind of affect the rigidity. So the whole thing had to be restructured, shored up. There had to be supports to put this entire rear end on. Now this is made from fiberglass. It's all one piece. The seam, you can't even see it, runs all the way down the side of the car here. To do this, they had to get the CAD data from Peugeot in France. They had to mill out 6 separate pieces, stick them together, make a plaster of Paris mould, and from that make this single glass fibre rear end that is an exact replica of the car you'll buy in the Peugeot showroom. Quick mention for the windows, these are acrylic, these in the rear windows. That's because they couldn't get a glass maker to make a piece that would bend and stretch in 3 dimensions, but hey, you get plastic windows on a Porsche GT3 RS. That's sporty, that's lightweight. A few things have actually come from Peugeot themselves in France. So the tail lights, a few badges, the wheels, which we'll come on to in a minute, wing mirrors, headlights. That's just to give it the finishing touches. Everything else here has been made by hand. If you look in here behind the wheels, a couple of spacers. That's because an Ambassador is a much narrower car, got a much narrower track. So they had to put these in to punch the wheels out to fill up these arches. As I said, this is glass fibre and then it blends into the steel panel here. So hand beaten sheet steel to form the shape of the 208. The roof, well, that was donated by a Indian Super Mini of some sort, same as the windscreen and the door as well. So that's hand beaten steel. And you can see they've really been faithful to the shape here. You've got to get these creases to match up when it's all done by hand. Come around the front. And yeah, a few more bits from Peugeot itself, headlights, grille, fog lights, badges. The bonnet here, again, this is glass fibre, so made from CAD data, moulded. You can see the glass fibre under there. The hinges here, they're all custom made. The whole thing was smashing against other bits of bodywork. Every time they came up with a solution in this car, they created another problem. Oh yeah, bit of a problem here. That's the old Ambassador engine, an Isuzu 1.8 litre diesel engine, 55 of your finest horsepowers and pretty much as rattly as an old tractor. But hey, it's all about the aesthetics, this thing. And do you know what the best bit is? This isn't just a car to sit around in the hallway of their university or just a sort of a show pony in any way. It actually works, it actually drives. We can take this thing for a spin. So come join me as I take the 208 GTI Ambassador Edition for its maiden drive. Okay, so let's start this bad boy up. Oh, yeah, that is a bit nasty. I'll tell you what isn't nasty though, and that's this beautiful original Ambassador interior. We've got carpets on the floor, we've got carpets on the dashboard. It's a bit 911R in here actually, because we've got no aircon, no stereo, no sat nav. Very simple, very sporty. We've also got this vinyl front rear bench, which can seat anywhere between 1 and 8 people. Right. Now I should probably mention we have actually driven this car around a busy Indian town earlier today, and I have to say it was probably the scariest hour of my entire life. And what I learned was that the human brain is actually incapable of driving a car like this in India through rush hour traffic and talking to a camera at the same time. That's why we're here in the university campus, a little bit quieter, giving myself a bit of a better chance. So I should probably talk about how this thing is to drive, and funnily enough I'm prepared to overlook quite a lot of its bad points, which include a very baggy unassisted steering, the world's crunchiest gearbox, the fact that there's pretty much no power whatsoever, and the front and rear axles are completely disconnected when you hit any sort of pothole, which is quite often. And the reason I'm prepared to overlook all those things is because at its very core, this car is pure genius. It is a rear-wheel drive hot hatchback, and only the BMW M140i can claim the same thing. And that is 35 to 40 grand. This thing is much, much cheaper. Do you know what? I'm joking, but the truth is, driving this thing around, however bad it is, however much of a pig it is to drive, oh, it just makes me so, so happy. It's an idea we had about a year ago. The fact that we've actually seen it through, and here I am driving it around in India, oh, it just makes me so, so happy. You know, not all cars have to be good to be good. You know what I mean? Ha ha!